What's up, guys? I'm here at the Ponchatoula Fitness Center. We just got done with a very, very fun little clinic. I'm here with one of the best coaches in the state of Louisiana, maybe even around the nation when it comes to bodybuilding. We got Lacey Pruitt here. We also got the newest IFBB pro in Ponchatoula with us, Kevin Chretien. I said it right?
Chretien.
Chretien.
I was like,
I had it right.
It's all right. Chretien sound good. I like
it took
that.
me a while. It took me a while to get it.
Chretien is good. I like that.
Thank y'all for taking the time and coming to talk with us, man. You know, I think this is so cool that we get to talk with people like y'all because I've talked with many others about this. I think the state of Louisiana has kind of fallen behind whenever it comes to terms of the athletes that we've seen that come out of the amateur circuit. And, you know, it's so cool to see guys like yourself. You know, this is the home of Ronnie Coleman, arguably one of the greatest Olympians ever. Like, why do you think that Louisiana's kind of fallen behind when it comes to the bodybuilding scene? Why so many guys that are at the amateur ranks like kind of get left behind in this area?
So I don't think it's necessarily the state. I think it's the economy as a whole.
Right.
Because we see, you know, I go to shows all around Mississippi, you know, Florida, Texas, and all the numbers are down as a whole. But I do think that Louisiana bodybuilding needs to be brought back to life. And I think that it took, you know, coaches like me and a few others to really bring it back, because there was a lot of people that didn't really have direction, and the want and need for it is there. We just had to bring that positivity back to the sport, and I think it, like, Louisiana really thrived back in 2015, in 2014, but like now it's starting to thrive again.
Right.
It starts with people like us, the coaches that, you know, really bring the people in together. You know, we have these events. We are bringing awareness to, like, hey, you know, this is how correct way to prep and things like that, how to do it healthy.
Right.
Because a lot of the times you see people who fall out of the sport because of health and, you know, things like that. So if you can do it the right way and make it fun, because bodybuilding is a very lonely sport at the end of the day. So if you can bring a community together and, you know, really make it a positive thing, then that's what makes people want to stay with it.
You know, I think that's what's so cool about events like this is that, like you mentioned already, it is a lonely sport, but when you get a community like that together, we had 80 people in the gym. That's insane.
Yeah, maybe even more than that. It was a lot of people in there.
And that was just incredible to watch, just to see all y'all just come together and just work out, because y'all have all one purpose in mind, just to continue to get better each day. Kevin, I want
love each other.
I want to go to you as well, but congratulations, newest IFBB pro, man. Talk to me about the prep getting ready for North Americans, man. I know that you've had quite a journey. You also had quite a story as well that we talked with while we were there. Why don't you share a little bit about that?
Okay, well, man, so far as the prep itself, man, being with Lacey, I mean, top notch so far as with the stress management. I mean, she basically took all the stress away in this prep from my previous preps. You know, all I had to do was just follow the blueprint. You know, she made it so easy. I didn't have to second guess anything. And it was just anything that if I needed anything different, she was able to adapt at such a fast pace, man. And so when you have a coach like that pays so much attention to detail and is very responsive in that quick manner like that, man, it just really alleviates all the depth of self-doubt or anything that you would take coming in. Because, I mean, if you go into a show with any type of disbelief, self-doubt, or anything like that, man, it increases your stress. You can retain more water and different things like that. You just, you know, mentally you unfocused, you know. But with Lacey, man, you have 100% confidence that she's going to bring you in right. And I believe her catalog speaks for itself. You know, I mean, how many pros you brought out?
I have 10 pro cards.
10 pro cards. 10 pro cards total to 6 in a year. You know, man, and that's unheard of, especially in the state. That's why we call it a GOAT. You know, man, and me, myself, when me and you had talked about what led me more sort of bodybuilding was first, I mean, seeing the potential, but also I had a daughter, she's 10 years old, and she was at the age when she was kind of struggling with her confidence. And so, you know, you always like to speak things into your kids and say, man, you can do anything, you put your mind to it. And so it was more so me being a person that she can see physically start something from the bottom, from scratch, and work towards a goal. And I wanted her to see just the goal itself and how it just come into maturation. And I made a promise to her. I say, when I compete, I'm going to go and I'm going to win, and you're going to be on stage with me holding the championship trophy. And so we had trained probably up to like 2 years before my first show. And then my 2-year-old was born. He was just born. I don't know how old he was at the time, but he's like months old. But I had both my babies on stage with me fulfilling that promise. And so initially it started off just trying to uplift her and bring her to, to be more confident. And then it just matured into other things, and, it became a calling,
Yeah. I think
Yeah,
you pretty much put it plainly on your Instagram, like, this was such an emotional ride for you, just
Yes.
an
It really
emotion,
was.
And I think it was
Yes.
so cool, your story and what you did this for.
Yeah.
And we saw a little bit, Lacey was even a part of that, and got
Oh
to
man.
Yeah.
be part of that emotion, just
That
knowing
post show hug,
Yeah,
there's
yeah.
no idea. I always tell people
Yeah.
that. I'm like, the post show win, like that hug when you finally see your athlete and you see all that
Yeah.
come to light. I mean, I the best moments in my life is whenever my clients win, and like I have that. I can't even describe it. I can't even describe the feeling, but like I feel like it's me. Like we're winning as a whole, winning as a team.
Oh, for sure we are.
And I feel like it's like me up there, and so I really put my all into them.
Yeah.
And that was an amazing emotional experience for sure. There were some tears that were shed, but
Yes.
it's great.
And the timing couldn't have been more perfect.
Right.
Man. It was just something so surreal because it was at a emotional time. So far as like just a lot of things on the outside of bodybuilding.
Yeah.
And so we both needed one another to lean on one another at that moment, which made it more special.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I needed that more than anything.
So to overcome that and to have that to show, man, after all the things that were going on the outside, it was just basically stamped our, even more so, I would say the overall broad view of who we are is in our relationship, and just our love and trust for one another. So
That's what it takes. It takes trust, communication, and like he truly put his trust into me, and I put my trust into him, and we made it happen.
110.
Yeah.
Me and Dro were talking literally the week that you were going to North Americans, and he was telling me, dude, he's going to win his pro card this week.
Man, come on, man.
How awesome is that, man? I mean, that's
And the overall,
Oh,
the whole
man.
thing.
It's humbling, man. I think for the most part, what even felt better was just the embracement from the community.
Yeah.
Because that would actually allow me to stay in bodybuilding. It's easy to just say you want to do something, but when you see the love and the support, it becomes more of an obligation, to make sure, like, people are pushing you. They believe in you. Because sometimes, man, we get discouraged. It's humans.
Yeah.
And then we begin to negotiate ourselves on that Stairmaster. We negotiate with ourselves on the Stairmaster, man. Do I really want to go? Do I really want to do this?
Am I good enough?
I'm like, so many different worries, self-doubt, outside occurrences and influences. But it's just those words that I get on Instagram, those words that I get from guys at the gym, those words that I get from people and familiar faces that's in the sport.
Yeah.
They may look up to you, or just be a brother and bond with you, sharing the same struggle.
Yeah.
And so when that becomes more of the voice in your head and it begins to overpower your own conscience, it makes winning more special, because now all these people are celebrating the common goal with me. So it's not something that's just an I thing. It was a community win.
Yeah.
Because had it not been for the people who encouraged me, man, I wouldn't be here.
It takes a village to raise one.
Definitely. And it's
That was
definitely, and I just to piggyback on your first question about Louisiana, I mean, just that, if we just engrave that type of love into the culture even more so, and it's not as much as a competitive or rat race between one another.
No
but
drama, just
celebrate one another's wins and
Yep.
encourage and push each other to win.
Yep.
We can do more, so much more together.
Yep.
I think that's so cool. Lacey, you have had an amazing story as well.
Thank
Just
you.
hearing your journey and where you are right now, man. One of the best coaches in the world, in my opinion.
I
Just
appreciate
saying-
it.
The GOAT,
Just
man.
saying.
The GOAT.
I mean, there's a reason why people call you the GOAT, but
Yeah.
obviously being a cancer survivor and having to go through that, how did that test you going forward, especially with your coaching career?
Yeah, I mean, that me having cancer is why I am a coach today. Because so I would turn pro in 2018. That was 10 months after my first round of cancer. I'm sorry, my second round of cancer. I was first diagnosed in 2016. Then my second time was 2017, and then 2020. And then 2022, I had my entire colon removed, so now I have an ostomy bag. But I won my pro card in November of 2018, and then that was the last time I was on stage because I wasn't able to anymore.
Right.
With going through chemo and the things that I put my body through, I would try to go into prep and I would have to pull out, and it just didn't make sense to continue. And every single time my heart got broken. And so I was having a conversation with my friends one day, and they were like, why don't you become a coach? Like, you're so passionate about it. You love this. And I was like, I don't know if I'd be good enough to do coaching. And so I got with some really good
Yes, so.
mentors, Dom Cusa, Matt Jansen, Shelby Starnes, and I started learning. And for my first year coaching, I did it all for free. I never charged a dime, and we got top call-outs at nationals, a few overalls, and I built up my confidence.
Awesome.
And then I left my full-time career as a therapist for children with autism to do coaching. At the time, I had like 16 clients. I ended the year with 78, and now I have 184.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
And it's
Yeah.
crazy just how cancer was a vehicle to her calling.
Yeah.
And now she's to go.
Yeah. Well, you can take negative experiences and,
Yeah.
and turn your life into something negative and resort to drugs,
Right.
alcohol, violence. But for me, it was just like, you know what? If I can help someone get to that level and make their dreams come true, I'm going to do it. So, yeah, that's why I put my heart into it.
Amazing.
You know, I think it's so awesome just seeing your story and the story of perseverance.
Yeah.
I think that's what's so important. And I think that speaks for a lot of guys that are trying to get into this sport is usually they'll scroll on social media and they see guys like Kevin or they'll
Yeah.
see other IFBB pros out there and they'll be like, oh man, I don't think I'll ever get to that. It's all about perseverance, working on yourself. Our school principal used to always tell us, be 1% better each
Yes.
and every single day.
Yep.
And so I think that's so important. And knowing your story and knowing what you've been through, it's hard not to believe in that, you know.
Yeah.
And I think it's just a wise word, little words of wisdom
Mhm.
for the end of the day. But
Absolutely.
if you were to go back and I'm gonna ask this for both of y'all, to whenever you first got into this, what's the one piece of advice that you would give yourself?
I know mine here. It's a hard question. Mine would be to not rush into it. Really take your time and grow and solidify yourself in the sport. I think so. Like I started in bikini and I was like 95 pounds, and I really wanted to be women's physique. So I took 2 years off and I grew from there. And then 2 years later is whenever I went to nationals. But you know, my calling and what I wanted was not in bikini. I just wanted to get in the sport. And so I would say not to rush into it. Really take your time, enjoy the growth of it, and then solidify yourself as a really strong.
Yeah.
I would say don't allow bodybuilding to be your identity.
Right.
Yes, that's a good.
At the end of the day, you know, have hobbies. You know, be a family man. If you're, you know, a family woman, you know, be family oriented. You know, at the end of the day, dive into other things that makes you happy.
Yes.
You know, that's gonna build you up. That's gonna allow you to progress. You know, just in your social life, you don't have to isolate yourself so much.
Right.
Because a lot of times when you find guys, they isolate themselves. When they do win, they don't get the fulfillment they thought the win was going to give them because there's nobody to celebrate with.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So be a great person. Celebrate others. You know, because grace goes a long way. You know, what goes around comes around. And so when people see you cheer them up, when your time comes, your season comes, they're going to cheer you up. They're going to celebrate you. They're going to elevate you. You know what I mean? So never be one to withhold praise from another.
Right.
But do it constantly, man. You know what I mean? Because I do believe favor go a long way. I don't think our ability is the only thing that gets us those call-outs and those wins. I think a lot of times, man, it is something that imposed on the heart to the judges.
Yeah. Absolutely.
You know what I mean? So, yeah.
That was a good one.
Oh,
A really good one.
appreciate it.
Man, we're excited to
But
see
they
what you
deep
guys
about
have in
it.
the future.
Oh yeah, we're going to Olympia for sure.
We're definitely doing that.
We have the GOAT. We have the future. We also
The
talk,
future.
hey,
Come on, man.
a couple years, we're going to be seeing you in Vegas.
Yep.
I'm telling you. Probably by next year.
Next year.
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah. Man,
Next year.
appreciate that, man.
Yeah.
Man, we're excited for you, man. We appreciate you guys taking the
course.
time.
Sure.
So make sure you guys go out. Y'all holler at Lacey, Pruitt. Kevin is going to be a dog, man. We're excited for their
Man,
futures.
appreciate
We're
it, man.
excited for what's going to happen for them.